Today I'm going to walk you through setting up my ethical hacking workstation, this Alienware laptop that I just got. And I believe that this is the very first step that anybody getting into ethical hacking should take. You should set up a virtualized and build out your own virtualized hacking lab. That way you can practice all the tools and the techniques that you learn along the way in a safe kind of environment. And I'll be going through everything as far as what all I'm configuring, as far as what OSs I'm using and all of that. And last week's video was mainly about working in the field of cybersecurity. This video is all about the behind the scenes and the practice that goes into getting to that level, to where you have a hacking lab that you practice everything, and then when you go to work, that's when you implement everything that you practice. That's like when it's game time. So that's what this video is going to show you, is to show you how to set up your practice and build out that hacking lab. So let's get started. The first step that you want to do when you're building out this ethical hacking lab is you need to use a virtual machine. And these virtual machines can be used by downloading and installing a hypervisor. Right here I'm showing you VmWare, and I was trying to install this one to do the video, and everywhere that I looked, it looked like that this free downloaded version is no longer available. So this was extremely frustrating. So if you are trying to download VmWare and everything, I did end up finding out a way to get VmWare installed. I mean, I was YouTubing everything, chat GPT and everything, and I just found there was comments saying that they just did away with the free download. But again, I got my Patreon community that's cracking, so I will be showing how I did install VmWare onto this Alienware laptop. But again, all you're gonna need is some hypervisor. You can use VirtualBox, there's Parallels, Hyper-V, there's all these different ones. VirtualBox is definitely the one that you want to go to or go with, because it is a free version, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. Alright, so here I just wanted to show that I was able to finally get it installed, VmWare installed on my machine. But I did want to mention that there are at least two primary ways to use virtualized operating systems, and that's either type 1, that's full virtualization, or you got type 2, which I'm doing, which is we're able to run a guest operating system inside our host operating systems. Alright, now that we do have VmWare installed, let's start setting up our attack box. You're going to want to select or choose any kind of security operating system. Kali is the most popular one once you're a beginner, but there's other ones like Parrot OS and all these other different ones. This is just a basic Kali Linux install if you've never seen one, and that's what I'll be using to install as my attack box for my ethical hacking lab. Now, if you're still with me, you're probably wondering why I didn't go through the whole downloading the Kali Linux version and what version and what PC to use and everything. I'm gonna leave that up to you. Half of that research is definitely good for you to learn and everything, as well as there's tons of stuff to do that. And if you're going to be taking this serious and not as a hobby, then you're going to have to be installing Kali or Parrot OS or whatever kind of operating system that you're setting up for your attack system. You're going to have to do this kind of stuff anyways. I will mention right here, when you're creating these drives and stuff, select the /dev/SDA drive. I forgot what that drive was for, but that's the hard drive that you just want to have the Kali Linux boot up to, I guess. I believe that's what that's for. Again, that's the part of installing this operating system. I've done it millions of times, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. But what I do know is that I'm booting with Kali Linux for my attack system, and then I'm also going to use another operating system, which is Windows 7. You can use Ubuntu for the target machine, but for this example and for this video, I want to just show dual booting with Windows and with Kali Linux. Right here, I'm just trying to set up the background. I forgot where it was, and I thought it was in appearance, but it's in desktop, and that's how I get that desktop background. All right, great. So now we have the attack box set up. Let's set up our target machine so that our attack system can, whenever we want to launch attacks against this machine and try out different tools and techniques, we have this vulnerable machine. So setting up the machine to be vulnerable is definitely a key point. If you install a machine, there's machines that are out there like Metasploitable. You can look that one up. That's a Linux-based version operating system that's full of vulnerabilities that you can exploit. What I have here is a free version of Windows, and I just downloaded this from the internet. Again, if you want this, definitely send me an email, join the Patreon if you want the link of where to get this is all free stuff over the internet. But I will leave the link in the description below of setting up an Active Directory environment. This is where I learned to do this, so I definitely want to share that information of how to set up a vulnerable Windows machine. I learned it from the Cyber Mentor. If you don't know his YouTube channel, definitely check it out. I learned a lot of my stuff that I'm showing on my channel definitely from him and from his channel, and I just want to share the information on my channel as well. A few things about setting up this Windows machine. If you do go this way, make sure that if you're using VMware that you take the auto.ini file out in the VMware settings for the machine. Make sure you remove that because it'll keep you in this continuous boot loop, as well as when it's booting up. You just want to hit any key to make sure that you break into the process of setting up and that startup process. Those two things kind of threw me off. Right here, I definitely installed VmWare tools. That's how you go full screen with it. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to learn by just setting up these operating systems. And right now, I got them both going in my host operating system, which is Windows 10 that I'm running. But I got Windows 7 virtual machine and I got a Kali Linux virtual machine, and that's both of them running simultaneously right there to show you. Alright, now that our setup is all complete, we're going to make sure that everything's working perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and jump into these boxes or each one of these virtual machines. This is a tip right here. Definitely remember, try to use the same username and passwords, because if you start getting a lot of virtual machines, you might have to get locked out of one and start all over. But let's just make sure everything is set up and running correctly. I'll just run a quick Nmap scan and let's just see if this target machine that we set up, this Windows machine, if it's even vulnerable. So first thing, you just want to grab the IP address of the target machine, and let me try to blow this screen up. I'll just try to make it as big as possible. And then first thing that I want to do is just ping it just to see if we have basic ping connectivity. So yes, we can ping from my IP address over to the virtual machine, and then we'll just run an Nmap command. This is my go-to. You can use whatever Nmap command. You're gonna find out when you want to start doing your kind of reconnaissance and your first step of hacking after you get your virtual machine set up. You're gonna have your own way. Some people like to put it in a file and stuff. I like to do that as well, but I got to get some more practice on doing that. But the main thing is you need to practice it and use the command. So maybe next time when I go to launch this lab, I'll add another piece to the lab. Instead of just going to my go-to Nmap scan, I'll use my go-to Nmap scan, as well as making it output the information from the scan into a file. This way I could just refer to the file, and I know that, hey, my target machine has these vulnerabilities. I can do my research so that I can start exploiting them, because it's a pain to continue to just run that, right? To just continue to run it over and over again. And as we can see here, we definitely got some vulnerabilities. Port 445 is open, and right here we got message signing enabled but not required. These are definitely telltale signs of the eternal blue exploits, so we will be looking into that. And that's it. You should now have a powerful ethical hacking virtual lab that's ready for you to learn and master all of your hacking tools and techniques and everything. And if you like this video, definitely make sure to turn on your notifications, because next week's video, it's all about the first fundamental skill. Now that you've taken the first step to become an ethical hacker, I'm going to be going over the first fundamental skill, which is just basic computer skills. And I'm just going to be going over learning the Windows command line and learning it from a hacker's perspective, as far as what commands that I use and that I learned to become an ethical hacker and to get where I'm at. And hopefully that's something that you'll find interesting as well. And I'll holler at you on that next video. As always, peace.